Classic Game Room is brought to you by Ethel the Cyborg Ninja, Book 1, and Jesus the Coked Up Chicken #1, Special Edition, now on Amazon.
Back Classic Game Room on Patreon!
Banished from Earth Classic Game Room broadcasts from the Intergalactic Space Arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Image projector, okay. Cyber connector, okay. Control system, okay. It's Image Fight for the NES from Irem. Copyright 1990 for your Nintendo Entertainment System. I love the cartridge artwork on this one. That's why I bought it. I saw the cartridge art and I'm like, yeah. Lasers, spaceship, cool looking dude that looks like Captain Power. Need it. And have it now. I do. It's an interesting game, actually. One I've never heard of before. And one that you might be interested in playing if you like old school 80s and early 90s spaceship shooters on your NES. As you might imagine, Image Fight is pretty brutal from Irem, the sadistic bastards who made R-Type. What you do in this game is not all that dissimilar from what you do in every other game like this. You fly up and shoot everything that gets in your way. What makes it interesting is certainly not the music. It's actually pretty bad. Until you get near the end. Some of the ending music is alright, but what makes this one interesting is the style and the variety of weapons that you collect. It's not the best game in the genre on the NES, but it's far from the worst. This is kind of average, but still worth playing if you like these. Now you may notice as you fly around that you collect what looks like little robot heads. Those are, I guess, your auxiliary cannons, or I don't have the instruction manual, so I'm not really sure what's going on in this game. But you can collect up to 3 of those little cannons, and depending on what color they are, blue flies straight ahead, red moves in the fires in the reverse direction from which you're flying. So they're kind of like the little buddies in Musha, sort of. And then you collect various armor upgrades or weapon upgrades as you fly through your adventure. And as far as I can tell, the only way to change them is to take a hit, since they can absorb one hit and then collect another one. But the best one depends on which level you're flying through. For this level, I like the spread shot, which takes out enemies on the side. Image Fight is one of these spaceship shooters, which is, in my opinion, fairly unbalanced. Like, the majority of the gameplay is actually not that hard. Until you get to the end bosses. The boss battles move so fast that you will thank Lord Carnage every day for the fact that the NES Advantage includes a slow motion button. Also, the auto fire comes in super handy for this game because your finger will get super tired repeatedly pressing fire. It's like Irem hates you. My brain does not move fast enough to comprehend some of the gameplay in here. For the most part, Image Fight isn't all that difficult. There's just these sections which are downright impossible. And from what I can tell, what you do in this game is you fly through like a virtual reality spaceship combat simulation, and then near the end of the game, or like halfway through the game, you fight the real battle. So I don't know why, this one kind of reminds me of Ender's Game or something. Like the whole thing is a virtual reality simulation until, oh, we're doing it for real now. It's more or less exactly the same, except it's in space. It might make more sense if I had the instruction manual, but I just picked up the cartridge. I actually bought this from Jason in Pittsburgh when I was at a recent Pittsburgh Comic-Con. And Jason watches the show, so thank you, Jason. Cheers. But Image Fight has its moments, and the cartridge artwork is gorgeous. I actually feature this in one of my upcoming books as just being one of the best looking spaceship shooter game cartridges in a sea of good looking spaceship shooter game cartridges. It's like a cross between Star Soldier and Captain Power. You just can't go wrong with that, and the type font is awesome. Now, one of the things that does make Image Fight really tricky is that if you're destroyed, or when you're destroyed during one of the levels or an end boss battle, it sends you all the way back to the beginning. Thanks, Irem. Thanks for being cruel and unforgiving. Not even a checkpoint, just back to the beginning of the level. It's Image Fight, which is recommended if you like these super old school spaceship shooters. Don't expect the best game on the NES, but it's far from the worst. It's the fight for your image. It's Image Fight. So clearly the sequel, if released in the modern era, should be titled Selfie Battle.
Classic Game Room has been brought to you by How to Make a Video Game Review Show That Doesn't Suck, Ethel the Cyborg Ninja, and Jesus the Coked Up Chicken on Amazon.
Welcome to the Lord Carnage Club, being shouted from within. A turbo volcano! Starting with Billy and Andy Schleiss. Derek Langley. Michael and Ariana Nelson. Steven Chucknick. Al Stever. Jason Goy. Sergio Matthias Hergert. Sean Zoltek. Rick DeBarros. Philip Strabenmuller. Jack Stavris. Ohad Kane. And Tiago Pereira dos Santos Silva from Porto, Portugal. Tiago Pereira dos Santos Silva from Porto, Portugal.